It's Star Wars month. Finally, we're watching Star Wars. Anyways,
I was not expecting that one.
you never expect the Star Wars theme. Every time you think you're ready for it, you're not. And that's the joy of John Williams. Welcome to Star Wars month. I'm excited.
It was Star Wars 2 months, actually.
Star Wars 2, Electric Boogaloo, Attack of the Clones. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. One of the most arguably relevant pop culture pieces of media of the themes you have. I mean, other than Marvel and DC, of course, but what do I know? I'm tired from work. But, I mean, we have the whole May the 4th and everything, so, I mean, you could argue it's more relevant than the others, but what do I know? I just work here.
Yeah, so one of the things I said at the end of last episode was we fully have to blame Benson.
Yes.
For my interest in Star Wars.
You're welcome.
To begin with. It's just one of the many examples of my fiance trying to turn me into a nerd.
And it worked. It fucking worked. It worked so well. I mean, I feel like it was easier than I thought it was going to be, quite frankly. But shit, here we are. After Kingdom Hearts, it was a wide open casket.
I was never interested in Star Wars, actually.
Why?
I'm not super into, like, political media, but...
Boy, did I change that.
I surprisingly enjoy it.
I changed that hardcore, didn't I? Wow.
Listen,
I
still don't love political media in
Why?
general. Because, I don't know, I just don't find it super interesting.
Like, unique?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
that's
guess.
fair.
I just need it. Like, I prefer certain battle scenes, and we'll talk about battle scenes in this one especially, because one of my favorite battle scenes of all time is in this trilogy.
It better be what I think it is.
We should explain. This episode, we're talking about the prequel trilogy to start.
We're starting right from the beginning, yes.
Starting right from the
beginning.
Beginning. So, if you don't know, there is an original trilogy, there's a prequel trilogy, and then there's a sequel trilogy. We're not starting with the original trilogy.
We're going to do prequel, yes.
We're going to do prequel first. And basically we're going to talk about each movie, and then we're going to talk about our feelings on prequels in general, because I have a very strong opinion on prequels.
Oh boy, here we go. Oh boy, yeah.
I have feelings on prequels as a whole, not just this prequel trilogy, but I'm excited to talk about this one.
Okay.
Cool. What I know from this trilogy before I even watched any of the movies was not everybody liked them.
No.
These were actually pretty
hated.
Yeah.
Just say it out loud. It's hated. People are coming around though, and I feel like this is like a lot of fandoms, and honestly it's the biggest like pussy move ever for fans. Where it's like, oh, I've always been a fan. I thought these were good, but I was trying to be popular and not get bullied. Pokemon does the same thing. We're on the current cycle where X and Y are suddenly good. Like, pick a lane, whether you like it or you don't. Jesus Christ, nerd fandoms are the worst when it comes to this. But the prequel trilogy is getting its shine, where a lot of people are starting to really come around on it. And, I feel like that's going to be maybe the feat. I'm tired from work, but... I'm tired from work, sorry if you didn't translate that. But I feel like the sequel trilogy won't get that shine, in my opinion. Because the sequel trilogy, when we get to it, doesn't have the appeal of the prequel trilogy. But it probably will get a better reception down the line. But then again, I can't say it's just nerd fandoms, because a lot of movies are reappraised later on in life. So you do with it what you will, but it definitely more is a fandom thing than a critical thing, in my opinion. So that's just my take on that. Where we're at with the prequel.
Yeah. All right. I think we should just jump into the movies.
We're just jumping right in. Cool.
I think so, unless you had anything else to say.
No.
All right. So we're starting with The Phantom Menace, of course, is the first in the prequel trilogy. This is the first one I watched ever.
Because I told her to.
Well,
we started canon-wise.
No, we had a Star Wars party here. The first time I ever came to your house, it was you, me, and a bunch of our friends.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, you invited us
over. Did I get
over.
concussed?
It was you, me, Brian, Sammy.
Oh.
It was the first time I came to your house, and I was snuggling with Bear on the couch while we were watching the movie.
Day.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God. Jesus.
Yeah.
It's been that fucking long.
It has been a very, very long time.
Jesus Christmas.
But that was the first movie I ever watched, and I remember Brian complaining about it through the whole movie.
He sure was. Brian likes to do two things in life. Meme and complain. Sometimes both. But you obviously rewatched these for this. But Phantom Menace, it is the first movie. It follows a, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn, and they are trying to deal with the Separatist Trade Federation over Naboo, and those political tensions between the Republic and the Separatists, which then leads them across the galaxy to things like Tatooine, where we meet a young Anakin Skywalker, and it sets up the whole chain of events for what happens for the next 5 fucking movies. Technically, 8 movies, but I digress. Alright, just jump right into it.
Alright, let's talk about some things that I enjoyed. First of all, this has my favorite character in the whole franchise
you say Jar Jar
in it.
Binks, I swear
It's
to
not.
God.
No, it's not Jar Jar.
Okay.
It's Qui-Gon.
Okay.
My favorite character in the whole franchise. And spoiler alert, he dies by the end of it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
And I was so mad.
So, why was Qui-Gon your favorite?
He seems like, first of all, he doesn't fully uphold the ways of the Jedi, but he does it in a fair way.
We should probably explain what the way of the Jedi is for new fans out there.
Yeah, it's
very strict.
Very, very, very strict.
Very strict, no attachment, no feelings. Think samurai coded, essentially.
Which I have thoughts on, but we'll get into that in Revenge of the Sith.
Oh.
Because I have some very strong opinions about that movie.
Oh, yeah.
But he upholds it, but he doesn't. Like, he acknowledges it that the way of the Jedi is very strict and very flawed in a lot of ways. And he is not afraid to, swerve away from that a little bit.
He's very sassy.
He is so sassy.
He's
Literally, the first thing I wrote down was a quote from him. The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
He's very sassy.
He is so sassy, and I love him so much. And I think with him, Anakin could have gone down an entirely different path. And it's one of the reasons that I'm sorry, I know I'm literally jumping the gun here. But
No, I'm just saying, I agree, but the issue is you'll find out one of 5 paths. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but he could have gone down any of those other paths, and it's part of the reason that Obi-Wan really pisses me off in this trilogy, because Qui-Gon was his master.
Yeah.
He learned from him, and I know Obi-Wan has his own thoughts and feelings and tries to do best by the Jedi Code, but Qui-Gon was his master.
Yeah. He inherited the sassiness in the wrong way.
In the wrong way.
Well, in a good way, but a wrong way, either way.
Yeah, and I have so many thoughts and feelings, and I know we're kind of jumping the gun here, but
I feel like that was the quickest you've jumped the gun on anything in this podcast.
I have such strong feelings on this whole trilogy.
But Qui-Gon is one of the best for a reason. He's one of the most powerful Force users out there. It is very canon that he was a very powerful Jedi that died too easily, in my opinion. No, not too easily.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Not too easily, maybe, but I digress. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to, block when suddenly someone punches you in the nose, to be frank, with a steel hilt. Like, Darth Maul is what Darth Maul does. But it's funny you already mentioned Anakin, because Anakin is, a very decent focus in this, obviously, going forward. Phantom Menace, obviously. Get it? Anakin's future as Darth Vader. I mean, this was, the movie where you got to see his path to the dark side. And honestly, it starts, like you said, with the death of Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, it starts, from the very beginning. We don't meet Anakin until about a quarter away through the movie, maybe even further into the movie.
Yep.
But we get to see Anakin as a little boy. And I know a lot of people shit on this movie and the trilogy as a whole, but I think this is a good place to start for Anakin.
It's the acting that kills it in some ways.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude, we're going to call a spade at this point. This is a grown, a grown woman or teen flirting with a young kid later on.
Yeah.
And it starts with this movie.
Yeah.
It starts with this movie. It's weird.
I do think this is a good starting point to meet Anakin, though. When he's young, when he still has that innocence, and
when he's indebted to Watto.
Yeah.
Good times.
When we meet Anakin, he and his mother are slaves on the planet Tatooine.
To Watto.
And
the Toydarian.
Yes. And basically, we get one of my favorite scenes in the movie of Anakin trying to earn his freedom and getting to go
pod race.
Become a Jedi. One of my favorite scenes in the whole movie, if not the whole
Pod
trilogy.
racing's fire.
It was so fun.
Pod racing's fire. It's a very fun scene, and like it shows a lot of the forward progression of CGI at that point in the 90s, in my opinion. It's a good scene. It really is. And I think it shows the cutthroatery of Tatooine, in my opinion. Like, these guys are also dealing with Tusken Raiders on the same field. They're cheating each other. Sebulba's a piece of shit. Funny piece of shit, but a piece of shit nonetheless. But, I mean, Anakin does get to, like, you see where Anakin's piloting skills come into play. Before he could pilot a spaceship, he pilots a little tin bucket.
Which we find out before this race, he couldn't even finish a race. So that was fun to learn.
No, yeah, they bet big time on this kid, quite frankly. But Anakin, there's a lot of shit they build up to eventually. Like, again, he gets to be a good pilot. He meets R2-D2 and makes good friends with him. R2's actually a part of Naboo, and C-3PO was made by Anakin. So you get to see all of his technicalities, his racing, his savviness, a little bit of sassiness here and there, and the biggest part of this trilogy that's a part of his character, shrimping, I can't say the word technically, I think shrimping over Padme.
Yes. Yeah. All right, let's talk about Padme for a minute. Who is Padme?
We're just jumping right into Padme? Jesus.
Well, I mean, you brought her up, so
okay, fair.
Yeah, let's talk about her. Padme is, should we say what she is in this movie, or should we say what she is?
What she is.
So, Padme, in the beginning, is the Queen's handmaiden.
Yep.
However, towards the end of the movie, we do find out that's not her real identity. She's actually the Queen of Naboo.
Surprise!
And later on, she decides, after her term as queen is finished, she ends up being a senator, and, you know, we follow her story later on, which I'll get into.
Yep.
Because I have feelings about that.
Yep.
I love this version of Padme. Yes, she's flirting with a little kid in a lot of ways. Do we know how old she is?
I'll Google it while you keep talking.
Yeah, we don't know how old she is, but, like...
At the risk of my
Anakin
FBI
is
agent.
flirting with her, and she's not, like, saying no to it, so it is a little
She's
weird.
letting it happen with the kid, but it's when we get to, like, Attack of the Clones, it suddenly is like, oh, Jesus Christ.
It gets a little weird. But this is my favorite version of Padme, and there is a different version of Padme later on in the trilogy, which I'll talk about, because I was not happy with it. Yes.
She's 14 while Anakin is 9 in Phantom Menace.
Well, so a 5-year age difference.
That's a teen flirting with a kid.
Not great.
That's crazy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
But she's badass in this movie. She is front and center the whole time. Listen, she's the Queen of Naboo, and I know you're making a face, and you're not. I don't think you're agreeing with me.
Second most badass appearance.
The whole film?
Of the whole trilogy.
Yeah, but
second most badass.
But she's still so badass. She doesn't let anybody who's below her go on this mission. She's there front and center. Yes, she has to say that she's the Queen's handmaiden, but she's there. She's front and center. She has a mission, and she's going to do it.
I liked Attack of the Clones better.
I do too, but we're not talking about Attack of the Clones.
Well, I'm sorry.
Because I have feelings on that one too.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
When we talk about that one, I'll talk about
I can't wait for that one.
How I feel about that version of Padme.
This one's good, though. This version of Padme is good.
But she's there literally the whole time. She does not let her handmaidens or anybody else that works with her take front and center. She's there front and center the whole time, even when she's playing a part.
Yeah. It's hard to argue against that. But, you know, she had a good part. Honestly, she also helped lead Anakin to the dark side. Whoops. Whoopsies.
Which we'll talk about that again in Revenge of the Sith. You're jumping the gun a little.
You already jumped with Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah.
Everything connects back to the dark side in some way.
I really hate that he died.
Oh, let's talk about that real quick. Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Darth Maul. I'm going to say it out loud really quick. He's a bigger role in this universe than you fucking think. Again, you kind of already know because the poster for Clone Wars has Darth Maul front and center, but this character that had like little to no dialogue and had a badass fight scene. We'll get into the fight scene and your thoughts, I guess. Darth Maul, little to no dialogue, gets this big role that is still canon, and we're getting a TV show next year based on him. Mm-hmm. Like, he is integral to 5 different movies and plot and shows, especially the Clone Wars, because if it wasn't for him, or if people paid attention to him of all things, Anakin, oddly enough, would not go to the dark side. I wish I was kidding. There are certain characters that we're going to get to that were divoted away during Anakin's fall to the dark side, one of which is obviously Obi-Wan. There were several more that could have prevented that. And if it wasn't for Darth Maul, it would have been prevented. Or if people listened to Darth Maul especially. It's wild how this character got so much hype. But he is a badass character. It's hard to deny that. I'm just saying. What do you think?
I don't like him.
Because he killed Liam
Neeson.
Because
he killed him.
He killed Liam Neeson.
He killed Qui-Gon
He
Jinn.
has a dual-edged lightsaber.
Listen, and that's great. Awesome. Wonderful. He's a great villain. I don't like him. But obviously, like, you're supposed to not like great villains.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
Well,
I can appreciate
he had a great fight.
I can appreciate the fight. I can appreciate the badassery with the dual lightsabers.
Dude's sick.
But I don't like him because he killed my favorite character.
And then he was split in half by another character, Obi-Wan. Let's talk about Obi-Wan in this movie. What'd you think of him? You know, played by a young Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor has my heart always.
Oh, he's fantastic. Fantastic actor.
Has my heart always. I don't like him in this trilogy.
What about the Phantom Menace?
Okay, fine. He was fine in the Phantom Menace. Still, he really pisses me off in later movies, so I can't like him. I feel like he didn't get like a ton of I don't know. I don't feel like he got a ton of screen time as opposed to like the next two.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So I don't think I really formed an opinion on him until the next movie.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, actually. He's a good character. I mean, I feel like Qui-Gon's death also destroyed Obi-Wan in a way, because then he stayed strict to the code. Like, he was fine under Qui-Gon's wing. He was still sassy after Qui-Gon's death, but he definitely was stricter to the code, and I think that is, in part, the fear after losing Qui-Gon Jinn. That's just, me reading into it, but I get why he pisses you off later on.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I can see that.
But it's hard when you lose someone you considered a close friend and master right before your eyes, and then you're flung into raising this young kid as your apprentice for all these years, and have to teach him the code, and suddenly are thrusted into this higher role of knight anyways. Like, he got thrown the worst hand possible, in my opinion, at a crossroad where he could have chosen to listen to Qui-Gon or go the way of the Jedi, and he trusted the way of the Jedi because, quite frankly, that's all he had left. It was Anakin and him and the way of the Jedi. And you got stuck with sticklers like Windu and Yoda, and you're in trouble.
Yeah, I see that. I just don't get, like, you spend all this time with a master like Qui-Gon Jinn, who makes his opinions on the Jedi Code very open, and you still go with that form of the Jedi Code, and you just make things worse.
But now he has a kid, though.
Fair.
That's the thing here. He has also a genuine kid who has no idea what the hell's going on. And that it's just that he could be a powerful Jedi based on what's in his bloodstream, Which was not introduced in the original trilogy. This was a scientific thing in the prequel trilogy. And people have their opinions on that. Yeah. What do you feel about that? We haven't gotten to rewatching the original trilogy episode yet.
No, not yet.
But the original trilogy. Not once was it mentioned. How do you feel about that rewrite of the Force?
I think it's interesting. It is really interesting. I'll talk about, I feel like I can't really answer this question without talking about my feelings on prequels. So I'll answer it later.
Okay.
Just remind me, and I'll answer it later. Because I have really strong opinions on prequels in general.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like these ones. I feel like these ones are fine. Not the best. Like, overall, this one, I feel like it was a solid start. It wasn't
I was going to ask
bad.
We went this whole time without talking about your thought on the overall movie.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about the plot points of the movie, and then, yeah.
Yeah, you jumped right into Qui-Gon Jinn, and from there was no saving you.
There was no going back.
You fell right to the dark side.
Really, really strong opinions on this trilogy, as you can tell.
Okay, so what was your thought on The Phantom Menace overall?
overall, it wasn't a bad start.
Yeah.
Do I think it lived up to the original series?
Oh, God, no.
No. But I think it was a good start.
What'd you think of, like, the galaxy itself? The galaxy is a play in its own right, or a character in its own right. What'd you think of the planets we got? We got Naboo, we got Tatooine, we got Coruscant. Coruscant and Naboo being first of their kind planets introduced.
My favorite planet is Naboo.
I knew
it's so pretty.
It is.
And I love that just like the Jim Henson universe, everything just felt so distinct, dynamic. You get all of these creatures that you're continuously curious about. Benson's favorite character is in here, Jar Jar Binks.
Thrilling guy.
Benson doesn't like Jar Jar.
I don't, and no amount of reiteration will ever make me like Jar Jar more. He is not that good of a character. I am very happy his actor is getting a redemption arc, much like Hayden Christensen, after being sent death threats for playing Jar Jar. I'm glad that character, that actor is getting, I forget his name off the top of my head, is getting a redemption arc being in all these Star Wars projects.
Yeah.
Like the Jedi that saved Grogu from Order 66 in The Mandalorian. Like, that's fucking sick. I think the actor did what he could with the script and what he was given. Doesn't mean I like these guys anymore. And I don't like the Gungans. I don't like them one bit. What do you think of them?
They're alright.
Yeah.
They're funny. Like, don't get me wrong, I laughed. But
there's an episode in Clone Wars later, and it comes back to the Clone Wars. It always comes back to the Clone Wars. There's an episode of the Clone Wars that I'm dying for you to see that involves the Gungans and a very famous general from Revenge of the Sith that gets a lot of plot points in the series. And I want you to watch that episode, and I'm dying to see what your thoughts are. Because, oh boy, do I have thoughts on that. But, yeah, the Gungans are fine. The world of Naboo itself is great.
I love that world.
It is a great world.
It's so pretty.
How'd you feel about the expansion of Tatooine? We saw like slumlord millionaire type shit in the original movie, and it's still here, but like you see a lot more of that cutthroatery.
Yeah. I like that every world in general just kind of has its own feeling, like its own distinctness. One of the series that Benson had me start reading, one of my main issues with that series was there were so many different planets and none of them felt different from the other, and like they each should have had their own dynamic and they didn't, and that was actually really upsetting to me. This world, I feel the exact opposite. I love that each planet feels so different and distinct because that is hard to do. I like that we saw a little bit more of Tatooine in general, and I like I said, I love Naboo in general. It's so pretty. It seems so peaceful. It's just something that, like, a place that you'd want to go and visit.
And then we got Washington, D.C., the planet, Coruscant.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it is. Okay, to be fair, there's layers to it that they don't explore in the movies. Like, you see it in Attack of the Clones, some of the layers. But there are some really big layers that, like, are horrifying. There's a complete underground world where no one dares to go. Like, the novels and the Legends lore and the canon lore all have different takes on Coruscant's layers, but what we see in these movies is what we get with Coruscant, which sucks, because Coruscant, easily one of the most interesting of the bunch, considering the literal government of the galaxy is situated at the top, which is good layering and thematics, might I add. Just saying. Love that. These movies also came out, fun fact, the later two movies, especially, I think, Revenge of the Sith, as, you know, criticisms of George Bush.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the original trilogy was a critique of the Vietnam War.
Huh.
Did you not know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, that's right. I told you the movies. You didn't really get the subcontext. George Lucas's films are pretty much always intrigued and read as critiques of the Vietnam War, the original trilogy. And then this, you could say, especially Revenge of the Sith, is considered a critique on George Bush and inevitably what follows afterwards in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, the War on Terror.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, George, I think, denies it a little bit, but it's hard not to see the similarities, in my opinion, to both incidents and wars, in my opinion. So, but either way, what else are we missing here? The battles themselves, the choreography. What did you think?
Again, I don't love battles unless I'm like invested in the battle. I did enjoy the battle between Darth Maul and Qui-Gon because that one was so like interesting, distinct. Like that one was different.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
It literally was, I mean, to go into the music, I guess, for a second, what'd you think of the soundtrack overall?
I liked it.
John Williams strikes again.
I want to talk about the soundtrack, especially in the last one.
Oh, Revenge of the Sith. John Williams goes hard every time with Star Wars. Want to know what the name of the song is and why for Darth Maul versus Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and why you definitely feel that's distinct? Mm-hmm. The song's called Duel of the Fates.
Of course it is.
Yep. So, yeah, you quite literally, it feels very distinct for a fucking reason.
Yeah, you know? I think when there's a battle that I'm super interested in, that makes me want to watch it more. If there's not, I kind of space out.
Battle of Naboo in general is just a great battle in my opinion. All three parts. You got Anakin accidentally hijacking a ship when he's told to stay in a ship and going, R2, and then he just destroys a trade fleet. No warning at all. R2 and him just go on this complete murder run of robots.
Yeah, that should have been our first red flag. He didn't listen.
He didn't listen at all. Well, actually, no, he did. He did listen. He was told
leave the ship.
He didn't leave the ship. Qui-Gon said stay in the ship. He didn't say anything about don't fly the ship. And that's Qui-Gon's mistake too, in my opinion. Don't touch anything, he should have said. And then Anakin touched everything. I don't think he said don't touch anything, if I remember. He just said stay where you are.
He just said stay in the ship.
And then all of a sudden droids come out and ambush Padme and all that, and R2 and him find the guns, but then R2 accidentally goes, oh my god, this ship's flying, and then they proceed to go destroy a separatist trade fleet. Like, seamlessly, might I add. And Anakin's just having the time of his life. You know, if I was a kid in that situation, I'd be panicking. I'd probably spiral right into one of those ships, quite frankly, and explode. This dude's bopping going, this is great! While he's just shooting down droids and droids are what the robots are called. That's another one we should talk about really quick, because the original trilogy has stormtroopers. And, you know, we see the evolution of the clones into stormtroopers later on in these movies. But the initial big bad is the droid army, made up of robots. What'd you think of the droid army and their introduction in this one? Did they feel like a threat? Did they feel like something that you could get behind? What did you think?
We're not done with the battle, though.
Okay, never.
We didn't fully talk about that.
Okay, please continue. Please continue with that battle.
You're gonna keep getting sidetracked.
Yes, please continue.
Well, the thing with this battle that made it so interesting to me in general is that it kept you on your toes the whole time. Like, you're going through this battle thinking for sure Qui-Gon is going to win. Like, there's no way that the person that we're rooting for isn't going to win. And it, even like the music, the soundtrack, you're watching Qui-Gon battle with Darth Maul, but then you're also watching Obi-Wan watch it through,
throughout the entire battle, like Obi-Wan, the famous scene is he's stuck between the laser walls. Yeah. But a lot of this battle was Obi-Wan being kicked down to the side and watching Darth Maul and Qui-Gon. Yeah. Like, he didn't have the biggest integral part until the final part, where it was him and Darth Maul alone.
It almost feels like you're watching it through Obi-Wan's eyes, because that is his master, that's his mentor. And then you see him get hit in the nose and hit with the lightsaber.
Right in the gut.
And he's gone.
Right in the gut.
And I think that's the worst part about this battle and why it feels so real. Because now you're in this trilogy. You're in this series as a whole, and you're realizing literally anything can happen. And this is not a safe franchise.
You did not watch the original trilogy before this, so you didn't know anything about...
Exactly.
I'm surprised you stayed as spoiler-free as you did for the movies, but you didn't go into this realizing Qui-Gon wouldn't be in the original trilogy.
Fun fact, I didn't even know Anakin was Darth Vader until you spoiled it for me.
Wow, you were really that distant from Star Wars. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But, fucking, what was I going to say? I mean, Qui-Gon, for Star Wars fans that already know the original trilogy, is he going to die? Is he not? Yeah, you go in feeling like he might die. You go in feeling like maybe he'll die in the prequel end. But Darth Maul throws the curveball immediately with his distinct ruthless ruffian style, in my opinion, compared to lightsaber duels before. And that's the biggest thing about the prequel trilogy. The choreography is on a whole other level for every battle, not just the lightsaber duels. Like, it feels like every single battle had some distinct badass choreography to it. So what did you think of those other battles too? Like, you know, Battle of Naboo in general, the Jedi fighting other droids, you know, that type of shit.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. They weren't that interesting to me.
Yeah.
If I'm not invested in a battle, I don't care about it.
Like, they're alright, but they're better though. They're good. They're fast paced. Yeah. But okay, that was quick. I was expecting more.
No.
So what about the droids then?
All right, the droids, again, didn't have like a super big feeling about them.
They are stupid as hell.
They are stupid.
Listen, they're something about post-prequel media for Star Wars that hits, and it makes you realize, oh my god, the prequels being done justice. Because you'll look at especially the Clone Wars TV series and the movie, they take the stupidity of these battle droids and ramped it up to 11, and they are the most iconic thing of all time, quite frankly. More iconic than the Stormtroopers in some regards. So that's my take on it. They're a good filler, though, especially because they get more variety compared to Stormtroopers, which are just Stormtroopers. You know, there's the super battle droids, there's the battle droids, there's the droidicas, which have the little force field. Even the ships are droid themselves. Like, there's no human at all. Like, there's alien species and humans running the armies, but the armies themselves are purely machines. You know, and that's the best part about it, is that there's no humanness to these guys in some way. And it's interesting to me. Very, very interesting to me. And I like them. I do like them more because of other media, though. And that is, I feel like, something Phantom Menace really draws on. I think it's a decent film in that regard, though.
All right. Now let's get into the next one. Let's move on.
Was there anything else you wanted to mention about that movie?
If there was, I wouldn't say let's move on.
Soundtrack in general?
No, it's great.
No? Great? Good. Great?
It was great. I had a great time.
Okay, good. So, decent film?
Yes.
It's decent.
Decent.
What's the negatives, though? We went into a lot of positives.
Long. It was very, very long.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
that's
all of them.
All
of them
are long.
are very long. With this
Comes down to pacing.
Pacing, yeah. It took a long time to get to Anakin in general.
And then they just jump right into Coruscant and then Naboo.
Yeah, it needs to... It definitely needed to work on its pacing. I feel like I don't have a lot of negative to say about this. This was an alright film.
I feel like that's the biggest issue for Phantom Menace in retrospect.
Is that it's alright.
Well, the pacing I meant, but yeah, that too, yeah, I guess.
Pacing.
The pacing quite literally, I think, does this movie an injustice more than usual. Because we get introduced to the Jedi Council way down the line. We see Yoda again. We get introduced to Mace Windu. And just like that, they're gone afterwards. And back to Naboo. And then the battle happens. And the reveal of Padme. And then Darth Maul fight. And then that's it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's an alright film in retrospect. The Gungans aren't that great. The pacing isn't that great. Anakin's acting is cringe.
I mean, he's a little boy.
I don't care. There are some good child actors out there. He's not exempt from this. Yeah. I almost said a horrible parallel joke. But his acting failure led him to the dark side. Let's put it that way. But I feel like there's a lot to piece together with this. But it is a good start to the saga if you're new to this. And it's a decent film overall. I think the highs are there, and it shows the promise that the prequel films could have in regards to better choreography, even better soundtrack compared to the original, etc., etc. Which then leads us to Attack of the Clones at that point, or as I like to call it...
Yeah,
what happened?
Yeah, I think this was my least favorite of the bunch.
Oh, this is my least favorite of the 9. One of my least favorites, I should say.
We are introduced to Hayden Christensen, who is playing Anakin Skywalker. I know everybody gave Hayden a horrible time because of this movie. I
think he won actually that and Revenge of the Sith. Fun fact, I think he actually won a Razzie Award for his acting in Revenge of the Sith, which if you don't know what a Razzie is, raspberries are ceremonies that give out the worst of the worst, and Hayden Christensen got the award for the worst.
Because he is a good actor, but you can only act with what you're given.
Yeah.
The script for this wasn't that great.
Oh dear God, was it bad. That's my issue with this. Okay, let's go over the goods. Please tell me there's something good here.
Okay. First of all, I agree with you on Padme. This is probably the best iteration of Padme.
Oh, her entire thing on Geonosis, fucking crazy.
She, in this one, again, a badass. She is not afraid to stand up to Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
She's not afraid to put him in his place, but also be there as a shoulder to cry on. She's a good mix in this one of a friend and Jedi, because she's not a Jedi, but she is trying to keep him balanced.
She's what the Jedi Code could have been.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say it out loud. Could have been.
She is.
She also killed a big cat with her bare fucking hands.
Yeah, she's literally my favorite character in this one.
I think there was an awakening for so many of us back then watching Padme ride an animal shooting droids down. Just saying. Gonna put that out there. Awakening in all of us.
However, this is really where we see Anakin's downfall.
Oh, the biggest downfall of all time.
This is where it starts, and this is where it becomes really, really tough. But sorry.
Oh no, you're good. No, you're not good. Actually, you suck. Fall to the dark side. Read your notes faster. Damn it. Actually, I'll throw in a good while we're waiting for her to study her own notes. I gotta admit, some of the best choreography in the prequel is here for a while. That aren't lightsaber to lightsaber duels. Let me clarify. Aren't lightsaber to lightsaber duels. The Jedi arena battle in Geonosis, a lot of people have mixed feelings on because the Jedi went down so easily to a bunch of droids and went from hundreds to like 20 in the span of 5 minutes. I don't care though. That shit's epic. What do you think? Oh, you're thinking.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
The Jedi. What the fuck?
I was reading my notes. I'm so sorry.
The Jedi arena fight.
Oh, I loved that fight. That one was really, really interesting.
People are mixed because obviously it's really epic, but also, damn, hundreds of Jedi went down so easily to these stupid robots.
Yeah, I get that. Also, we get to see a little bit of Obi-Wan's sass.
Oh my god.
Because
he is so sassy.
He's so done with Anakin. Anakin's like, well, we thought we'd just come and save you.
As they're getting...
He's like, great job.
Like, they're all getting chained to a pillar for this giant arena, and Obi-Wan's just like, good job.
Yeah, you're doing a great job so far.
He's so done with everything. He went to Camino. He saw this, clone army made from this one dude's DNA, Jango Fett, who is the father, I should say, of future Star Wars bounty hunter, who had 10 seconds of screen time, and was the original Darth Maul, Boba Fett. Man, is that wild. But actually, okay, let's Jedi Arena, let's back it up a little bit. Yeah. Choreography in general in the fights. Step up in this one?
Yeah.
That's like the biggest positive you can give.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. I'm like looking at my notes trying to find something good to say. And I think it's a lot harder than I thought.
I mean, the choreography.
Most of my negatives aren't like, okay, yeah. Choreography, great. Sorry, I'm getting
ahead. No, good. Choreography is great.
Yeah, choreography is really, really fun.
Yeah.
But I can't think of a lot of other positives for this.
Whoa.
But most of my negatives are in, like, character dynamic and not necessarily, more of, like, script based and not necessarily, like, negatives. Like, they're negatives because they're supposed to be negatives.
Well, hold on. Soundtrack's banging.
Yes, the
soundtrack is banging. Great. Show Williams some respect, you fucking... You miserable...
I'm not saying good.
You miserable poodoo, as Jabba would say. I can't say anything else, otherwise people would think I'm abusing my wife, and that is not our dynamic. You poodoo.
Speaking of abuse, let's jump right into Anakin in this.
What the hell? What the hell was... Whoa!
Anakin is such a red flag. I'm sorry. The whole scene, listen, they had a really nice day out, right? The whole scene where they're sitting in the field and they're talking politics.
Oh, wait, you're right.
And he makes a joke about genocide.
Yeah.
And she's looking at him like, is he serious? I can't tell if he's serious. That should have been red flag number fucking 1.
I let him hyperspace drive into my pussy?
That should have been red flag number 1. Listen, my fiance... Or, like, even if I had another partner in general, if we're making dark jokes, we know the other is joking.
Yeah.
If I ever for a second even thought, maybe they're not joking, I'm out. This is done. This is not funny anymore. We're moving on.
Well, I was gonna say he has one valid crash out in this movie, I will say, but it does spur on the dark side. He fucking killed the village of Tusken Raiders, and
but he had a good reason for it.
This is where the dark side falls because he doesn't know how to properly channel his emotions. And boy, I get the reason here, but also, oh boy, does this signal the biggest downfall to the dark side.
Because his mother has been kidnapped and tortured, and she ends up passing away in his arms.
Yep.
Which leads to a major crash out.
Oh, he murders that village. He proudly says it to Padme.
I wouldn't say he's proud.
I think it's a mix.
He's definitely
he wants to be proud.
He's not upset.
He wants to be proud, but he's so upset still.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's proud. I would say he's definitely teetering on the edge of.
Oh, he's slipping.
I don't regret what I did, but I know I shouldn't have done it.
Oh boy, that was hard to watch.
It was really hard to watch, and again, I don't get why so many people gave him shit about his acting.
He did good for this.
Because I think that scene was so important, and it's really hard to have a grieving scene like that. And I think he did a phenomenal job, only bested by another scene that we'll talk about in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
And you know what scene I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because you feel like, I feel like his acting in Revenge of the Sith is arguably worse than in Attack of the Clones, but he plays the role of a confused teen very well in this. I'll say it.
But that's the thing. He's a confused teen.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not saying this in a derogatory way. Because I support therapy as a whole, but he is the definition of this boy needs therapy.
Yeah, quite frankly. He doesn't get that support, though, because the Jedi don't believe in therapy.
Exactly, and that's what's so frustrating about this, is he's constantly told, don't feel your feelings. And that is what ultimately leads him to the dark side, is because he's not allowed to form these attachments. He's not allowed to feel these feelings.
Which is wild to think about, because let me tell you something. Do you ever once remember Obi-Wan in the original trilogy, which we'll get to later, I guess? Do you ever remember Obi-Wan saying, control your feelings?
No.
He says, search your feelings.
Yeah.
Because he knows what happened last time, and it's a good turnaround in my opinion. This, I think, is the beginning and the end, because then the Jedi got into a war that they easily could have honestly stayed out of, in my opinion, in some regard. Separatists may have been, being assholes, but the Jedi could have easily been like, oh, nah, dude, and be like, we're gonna basically stay out of this and be as neutral as we can be. But they don't. They don't. And rightfully they do go into a battle that threatens the galaxy, but that also goes against feelings too. They are so hypocritical, and I feel like the Jedi in this prequel series show it. To kind of dabble into some lore, just gonna throw a little dabble in there, okay? One of the things about the Jedi is you cannot be in love. So Anakin and Padme's romance is secret throughout this entire trilogy. There's one exception. One big exception. And his name is Ki-Adi-Mundi. The giant head dude that died in Revenge of the Sith on the planet Megiddo. Mm-hmm. You know him? He had 10 wives.
Yes, I knew about that.
Yes. For those that don't know, he had 10 wives. He was one of the few that was allowed to love because he is such a powerful Jedi that if they pissed him off, oh boy, that could have spelled doom. He is one of the best Jedi out there. Other than arguably some that you'll see in the Clone Wars, like Plo Koon. Oh, I have some thoughts on Plo Koon. Plo Koon is the definition of what I think Anakin could have used. Or what everyone could have used. Plo Koon's great. But I digress. We'll get there when we get there. But it's interesting to see the secret romance, but also, dear God, did it have to be the main plot of this entire fucking movie?
But, I mean, okay, this very much felt like a setup movie. Let's call it what it was.
It is. Everything was a setup for Revenge of the Sith. Phantom Menace was a setup for Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, but this felt like a setup movie, and I can get why people were mad about this movie, because if I went into this when it was first released, and I watched it, and I had to wait a year or so for the next movie, I'd be pissed too. Because this just felt like a setup. Like, I have to watch this in order to watch the next one, but this one isn't good.
I mean, they don't even get into the main part of the title, the Attack of the Clones, until, like, literally 3/4 of the movie. We get introduced to the clones on Kamino in the first quarter, and then never again. Let's talk about that really quick, actually, because this is the biggest part that ties everything Star Wars together. The Clone Wars. You're introduced to this clone army made from Jango Fett's DNA. What are your thoughts on Jango Fett? What are your thoughts on Boba Fett? What are your thoughts on the clones? I'm dying to hear. So badly, because I just saw your face.
He died really quickly.
Jango Fett?
He
just
died
like father,
really quickly.
like father, like son.
Really, really, really quickly.
Like father, like son. Oh boy, for those that don't know, in the Battle of Geonosis, Jango Fett comes down, does like one or two things with Mace Windu for a second, and then proceeds to get rolled over by an alien dog rhino thing. I forget the name off the top of my head. His jetpack is destroyed in the process, and then Mace Windu decides to just decapitate him.
And then his son's watching like, huh?
Oh my, I love Count Dooku. I love Christopher Lee's reaction. He looks... I know it's Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee, rest in peace to him. He's a saint among men. His acting, he acts so civilized for a Sith Lord. He's the epitome of, like, you know, because he was a Jedi originally, and then he betrayed the Jedi Order, and in part, that's because of Qui-Gon Jinn's death. Let me put that out there. Because of that. Like, but he's so posh and civilized. When he's watching Jango Fett's death, Mace Windu just stares into the audience like, are you not entertained? And you see Christopher Lee go, oh my god, and put a hand to his chest. And he has this gasp reaction like a posh, rich British person going, dear god.
Okay, speaking of Count Dookie, I mean Dooku.
Whoa! Whoa!
I know you... we're talking about the battles and all of that, and there's one that I do want to talk about.
Okay.
Because overall, I feel like it was a decent movie for those type of scenes. The battle between Dooku and Yoda.
Oh.
Very lackluster.
Okay.
Very slow.
Yeah.
Like, the movements that Dooku is making, I could have blocked those.
Yeah.
Let alone Yoda.
Yeah.
Like, he's taking pieces of the wall very, very slowly as, like, first of all, if you're trying to show him up or something, you want to throw this shit at him.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that's a huge piece of wall he's taking out. The Force isn't, like, an untapped reservoir. Right. You have to strain in some ways.
Right, but, like, he's blocking that. You're not doing anything.
Wait. Okay, it's lackluster to a point.
To a point.
Okay.
And then it does pick up.
Because let me tell you something. The way all of us felt, and I'm sure you felt this, when Yoda started flipping shit, despite being a hobbly old wrinkly green ball sack.
Well, that was Yoda. Dooku took a fucking second to get there.
Yoda fucking flipping shit. What'd you think? That's the biggest plot twist. Like, the original trilogy, he's this giggly old man that's beating the shit out of R2 with a stick, and he's hobbling around most of this movie, and then all of a sudden he starts flipping through the air. What did you think of that?
I mean, he's a Jedi Master for a reason.
He is!
Like, I knew there was something to him. Yeah, Yoda may not be my favorite character, because I have thoughts on his opinions, but, like, you knew he had to have something in him.
He's fucking great.
He had to.
What about Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Count Dooku? Because that was the prequel, because then that leads to Anakin losing his hand, again, like father, like son. Yeah. So, what did you think of that battle? Good?
Yeah, like I said, I think all the other ones were solid.
This felt weird. It's the inverse. Where it's like the general battles were... I mean, going back to Coruscant at the beginning, there's an assassination attempt on Padme that's headed by Jango Fett and his assistant. I forget her name off the top of my head. And they chase her through Coruscant, and there's like this whole flying through the air speeder chase that then ends with Jango Fett assassinating her before she gives away information. And then that leads to Obi-Wan, I should say, going to Dex, his old bartending waiter friend, which is the funniest thing in my opinion, is this New York alien going, hey, Obi-Wan! Walking in, what's good, buddy? And tells him, oh, I know where this is. This is on this planet, actually. I know where this distant planet is. Like, that's the funniest part to me, is that turnaround. But it does show the layer of Coruscant, like I told you about, where it's a bit more slum lord type of underground. but it's not the complete underground. I digress. But the battles in this one, I feel like the non-lightsaber battles were the highlight, and then the lightsaber battles were like down there.
Agreed.
Which sucks, because Dooku's a great villain in my opinion. What do you think of Dooku as a whole, actually? What are your thoughts on him?
Great villain. Great villain.
Yeah.
Hate him.
Why?
Because he's a good villain.
He's great. Christopher Lee is a damn great actor.
He's an amazing actor.
I love him.
He's definitely a loss.
This-
he had so many really, really great roles.
I mean, he was in Gremlins too.
Yeah.
And he was also in Lord of the Rings.
And I think he fit this role.
Oh, he did.
I don't see this role going to anybody else.
He played the nerdy villain everyone loves so well twice in a decade, between Saruman of Lord of the Rings and Count Dooku. And this dude is a badass. Actually, side note away from Star Wars really quick. I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw something about behind the scenes where there's a scene where Saruman's supposed to die, and Peter Jackson's trying to like direct how it should go, and like Christopher Lee's supposed to make this noise when he dies or whatever. And Christopher Lee kind of looks at him and goes, do you know how people die? Because there's not supposed to be a noise. And the context is for this, Christopher Lee served in war. More specifically, I'm pretty sure World War II. Like, this man knows how people die. Like, he knows. And he was like, he's like, you're not supposed to make a noise when you die, I'm pretty sure. Like, it's so funny. And shout out to him. He was also in a heavy metal band, Charlemagne. It was like a religious heavy metal band. Charlemagne it was called, I'm pretty sure. This dude did everything. And he was good at all of it. So, he is a loss for sure. But he was a great villain in this, in my opinion. Count Dooku was great. Jango Fett was Jango Fett. Good setup for the clones.
Yeah, it was a good setup.
What do you feel about the clones in general, though? Because this is the big point in Star Wars history where the Clone Wars is like the crossroads for everything.
Yeah, honestly, once again, I just feel like everything else was the main point of this movie.
Except for the clones.
Except for the clones, and it's literally called Attack of the Clones.
Star Wars.
Like, I feel like I was way more invested in Padme and Anakin.
Which sucks, because that doesn't feel right. It feels half-baked in a way. And I get it's like,
You have to show their relationship to an extent. Because their relationship is the whole reason we get Luke and Leia.
But for 2/3 of the movie.
Yeah, that's the frustrating part.
It sucks, because it's like, oh my god, there's a good movie somewhere in here, I just can't see it past the rom-com. It should have been called Star Wars Attack of the Puberty. I'm just saying, that's how it is. Attack of the Hormones. There you go. That's the movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this movie wasn't needed.
It's definitely needed.
But it's just a foreshadowing of everything to come.
It's one of those things where, like, every movie is needed in some series as you're staring at our cat, I'm
Max
assuming.
is, like, face planted on the floor.
He's sleeping hard. He's zonked out. Oh my god.
His nose is pressed up against the hardwood
he's
floor.
zonked out. But, like, every Star Wars movie is needed, much like every movie in every series is needed, whether people like it or not, because you're expanding on the lore. Unfortunately, I feel like this is one of the weakest. I'm gonna save my weakest one, in my opinion, for when we get to another episode. I'm not saying which one.
I know which one you're talking about.
Well, I don't know if you do, actually.
Is it the one Connor doesn't like?
I'm not saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying. Not saying at all. But it's one of the weakest.
Okay.
The soundtrack still hits. The CGI in this is pretty damn amazing. I mean, the clones and, like, you gotta admit, the clones fighting, though, was super fucking fun.
Yeah.
Like, when one of the spaceships crashes and causes that dust storm, like, seeing the laser shooting and, like, everybody going through the crowd, that was fucking sick. Yeah. And, like, what'd you think of the planets, though, in this? We had, again, Naboo for a split second. We had Coruscant explored more.
Yes.
And then we had Kamino, which was the rainy planet of the clones, and Geonosis, which is the planet of the droids. Which is funny because they're opposites of each other and parallel even to the planets. Kamino is rainy all the time. It's in an ocean. Geonosis is dry as shit. Drier than the Sahara Desert.
More of Tatooine
Yep,
as well.
A little bit more Tatooine. Not much, but a little bit more.
But again, this is a setup movie because this is where we meet Ben, who is where
Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, like we're exploring more of the worlds, but it's only when it's convenient.
Yeah. What'd you think of the planet? What'd you think of the planets, though? We explored the underground of Coruscant. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, once again, I like that every planet is distinct. Everything feels like it's its own
Camino
thing. Yeah.
What was your favorite planet?
I already answered that.
Naboo?
It's still Naboo.
Ugh.
It's still Naboo.
You're so lame.
So pretty.
What about Camino?
Yeah, that was cool too.
Ugh, you can tell you never played at the clone facility in the OG Star Wars Battlefront 2. You don't appreciate art.
We'll get to that, maybe.
Ugh, disgusting. I can't believe I'm dating you. I'm engaged to you. Okay, I saw you flip the page for Revenge of the Sith, but I'm going to ask this big question here. I'm going to ask the question for every follow-up movie to one of the original trilogy starters. Every character we were introduced to in Phantom Menace, like Mace Windu, Yoda, Obi-Wan, Anakin, Padme, we've touched on it a little bit. How are they better or worse in this movie? We touched on Anakin already a bit, Padme a little bit. What about the other big players that help downfall Anakin in some way, or are a part of Anakin's downfall? Yoda, Mace Windu, Obi-Wan. We haven't even gotten into Mace Windu yet. Let's talk about Samuel motherfucking Jackson.
He did amazing in this role.
Yeah.
But I hate him.
Oh, yeah. I knew you were going to say that.
He pisses me off so much, and I want to... No, I don't want to answer this question right now. I want to answer it when we get to Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, so what do you feel about in general? Better in this movie? Worse? Give me
worse.
a quick... Worse, a lot of them?
Worse.
Ooh.
And I think it's a downfall, not just for Anakin, but for everybody else. Obi-Wan, I think, tried in this movie. I liked him a little better in this movie. He was trying to connect to Anakin. He definitely saw parts of Anakin like that he wanted to help.
It felt like he was trying to be Qui-Gon Jinn.
He was trying.
But also, I feel like this is why Revenge of the Sith's Obi-Wan is one of your least favorite, because that also was the downfall, because Obi-Wan stopped trying to be Qui-Gon Jinn because it didn't work. And that's huge. And I feel like, as it's not trying to validate it, but it's a reason. It's not working for Obi-Wan. And he tried to raise this kid, essentially being a single father. Let's be real here. No, actually, no, they're brothers. They're like brothers. He's the older brother trying to take care of the younger one while the parents are gone. Like, he tried so hard to be what Qui-Gon was to him, but it wasn't Obi-Wan's style. And with the Jedi Council breathing down his damn neck about Anakin being a powerful Jedi that could turn or bring balance to the Force, it's a lot of pressure for Obi-Wan. And I don't think Qui-Gon's style worked. Because with the Jedi Council breathing on his neck, and honestly, Obi-Wan's downfall that doesn't help at all, I blame entirely on the Jedi Council breathing down his neck.
I agree.
And it sucks, but when you're faced with that pressure of raising the chosen one and everyone's judging you, it's so tough.
But they know that he has that potential. How do you expect him to reach that potential if nobody puts that faith in him?
That's the issue, is Obi-Wan is one of the only ones in the council that does, but he can't show it. You can see many times in these movies where Obi-Wan wants to give way to the Jedi Order and do emotion, but he knows he can't, especially with someone so emotionally vulnerable like Anakin Skywalker. Like, Anakin is literally the turning point of toxic masculinity, and Obi-Wan wants to break that chain so fucking bad, but he can't, because you got guys like Mace Windu supporting the chain, being like, no, you can't do that. And it sucks, but it's what makes each character arc so good, in my opinion, in regards to everything.
I know why it's needed. Like, obviously, and again, this goes back to my feelings on prequels. It is needed, but it sucks.
It's a good arc, though. You can't deny it.
Yeah.
You know? Just cause...
And it definitely shows you the Jedi aren't perfect.
Oh, no.
No, they have their own set, strict ways. And the Jedi, it's like anybody else. They're so black and white. They think of themselves as the good guys, but they're really not.
And
I don't think there really are good guys in the Star Wars universe.
No. Well, I mean, other than Luke, but even then, and then that goes into later stuff. I can't say anything yet. I can't. Actually, the only good guy I could say is Leia. Shout out Leia.
All right, do you have any questions for me before we move on?
Yeah, do you hate sand? I don't like sand.
Yeah, I don't love sand.
I don't like sand.
He grew up on Tatooine, though. He was literally surrounded by sand all the fucking time.
I'm just saying, we also have to acknowledge the prequel trilogy, say what you will. It gave us a ton of memes.
Yeah.
Anakin especially.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate you! And just like, you know, the fucking I don't like sand meme. And like the scene with Padme being like, that whole 4-panel scene gave us that meme for a while that was running to the ground. It still is. This prequel had some good ones. But, oh man, I'm telling you, I wish this movie had more than rom-com central. I hate it. Because that ending is so fucking good. But it sucks that, like, yeah, I don't know. It's one of my least favorites. Everything else hits. The romantic rom-com special effects stuff just ruins it so much for me, and it pisses me off for that reason. But I digress. So let's get into the last one then. Revenge of the Sith.
All right, Revenge of the Sith is the one I probably have seen the most because we went to go see it in theaters again.
When it released this year for our anniversary when we were in Boston.
Yes.
We went to the AMC.
And honestly, in general, it's the one I remember the most because every single person pissed me the fuck off. Everybody. Except for R2-D2. He can do no wrong.
What about C-3PO?
No, I mean, he's a little whiny. He always pisses me off a little bit.
That's fair, I guess.
Except for R2-D2. And let's start with that, because Obi-Wan is the first one to piss me off in this movie, because they're literally in enemy territory, and they leave R2-D2 by himself, and Obi-Wan's trying to call him over the speakers, and he's like, R2, like, can you, like, the elevator needs to go up. The elevator needs to go up. R2, can you hear me? Clearly, you are in fucking enemy territory. If he's not answering, there's probably a fucking reason for it. Give him a minute. Shut the fuck up. All right, that's all I have to say on that.
I love the part where, like, Anakin is talking to Obi-Wan, and he's like, I forget exactly, but Obi-Wan goes, I didn't say anything. Because Anakin's just, like, having enough of Obi-Wan shit-talking of R2. It's the funniest thing ever. And then Anakin has all the faith in the world in R2-D2 throughout this movie. It's the funniest thing ever. Like, he went from being Padme and Naboo's to being Anakin's, and it's the sweetest and funniest thing in the world. And R2 murders a couple robots in droids. He murdered, like, the buzz droids after they beheaded Obi-Wan's droid, which is wild to think about. Like, that dude was still alive when his head was spinning in space is the worst part. All you hear is, and it was so funny. But R2 tased him, and then he slick oiled the super battle droids and burnt them alive.
I love him.
This man's a murdering machine when he wants to be. And then when they're captured and, like, talking to Grievous, and then, like, Anakin just goes R2 to spring the trap, and R2 just goes ballistic with every tool as a defense mechanism, not to do anything, but just to scare everyone. Oh, it's so funny.
He's a good boy.
R2's one of the best in this series. He, like, they call him she, actually. I think they call her she. I think R2's a she, they say in this.
Oh, really? I never knew that.
I'm pretty sure they call R2 a she in this movie.
Oh, that's good to know.
But, I don't know. I forget. Not to gender the droids, I guess. But, yeah, R2's great, in my opinion. Let's continue on. Your general thoughts.
Let's talk about one character we have not talked about yet, and that's because he really shines in this one. Emperor Palpatine. I said what I said.
Emperor Palpatine is Darth Sidious, who is Chancellor Palpatine, and Palpatine's pulling the strings on both sides. This is where you can see the War on Terror parallels really come into play. He is playing both sides, so that way he can get total control. And, you know, he's playing the strings, he hears about Anakin as well, and then he really puts Anakin slowly into his wing, especially in this movie, making him like a trusted friend. Because the whole thing about the dark side is you give in to your emotions. Palpatine totally tells him, dude, you should just totally give in to your emotions. Don't reason with anything. You should totally fuck her. And it works, obviously, because then we get the original trilogy. That's why we're talking about this as prequel. He was great. Palpatine is a phenomenal character. Absolutely genius, 4D chess brain throughout this entire thing, knowing the Jedi Order's weaknesses and the weaknesses of every side, bringing it together so they think they're each side thinks they're winning at one point, but it's just him that's winning. That's it.
He's a great villain, and this is where some people are going to be like, but he's a horrible character. There's a difference between being a great villain and a great person.
Oh, yeah. He's far from it.
He is a phenomenal villain, but he fucking sucks.
He's a politician. What do you want? I think he played that part damn well, if you ask me.
And I think it's because he feels so real.
Yeah.
Because he uses tactics that somebody in your life would use. The manipulation.
Not to like, go into current president. We can talk about that a lot if you can't tell where we stand politically, I guess. But he reminds me. Okay, let's talk about this really quick in parallel to the movie. Revenge of the Sith feels like deja vu. Not just because of what George Lucas supposedly took inspiration from real world wise, but worse in this, because we saw this in April. Boy, did I feel deja vu and sadness when watching Revenge of the Sith, because Palpatine Donald Trump just feels like a watered down version of Palpatine if you took away the intelligence. And let me tell you something, it's wild to think about.
Yeah, for the record, I wasn't sure how political we were going to get on this podcast. So when I said at the beginning we're pro everything, what I meant is we're anti-MAGA, we're pro-Free Palestine, pro-Black Lives Matter, pro-LGBTQ. That is what we are pro.
We're pro equality except for those that hate equality. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's hard not to feel it because this is a political series in many ways. Again, the original trilogy, once again, whether George will openly say it or not, is a parallel to the Vietnam War. Quite literally. So, let me tell you, when you see this and you feel deja vu on the 20th anniversary and you feel like you're watching Life and Order 66 in real life, oh boy. But Palpatine, that's the thing about this. Palpatine is the truest form of a politician. He lets, like a ruler politician type thing, whether it's a president or a king or something else. He lets you think that he's for one side, but he's pulling the strings for everything behind the scenes just so he can win and gain power. The battle over Coruscant, the opening is he gets kidnapped by General Grievous, who is the Separatist leader, and then he's aboard the ship. And then there's a space fight above Coruscant. Obi-Wan and Anakin are sent to go rescue him, and they fight Count Dooku, who got nerfed so bad in this movie for like 5 minutes. Obi-Wan passes out after being knocked out. Anakin cuts his hand off, and Palpatine's like, good job, Anakin. And he's like, kill him. Just kill him. And Anakin's like, I really shouldn't. And Palpatine's like, do it. Great meme, by the way.
Which is another meme.
Yep. We quote it all the time. But like, that pinpoint right there is where you knew there was no going back for Anakin, because he even regretted it immediately afterwards, and Palpatine was like, yeah, he was gonna kill you, and then reminds him of his dead mother, which, by the way, I don't know if you know, but if you listen closely after he mentions the Tuskens, you can hear the faint roar of the Tusken Raiders as Anakin's flashing back. Like, Palpatine knew what he was doing every step of the way, and that moment alone was game over. That was it. Anakin was gone at that point.
Yeah.
No going back.
Yeah.
But Palpatine played it so well. But
he does, and it's now I think we can get into the rest of the characters.
Oh boy.
Because this is where I want to answer your question.
Oh boy.
I understand why they need to act the way that they do.
Plot, yes.
But it is really, 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 really hard to like any of them because of how tough they are on Anakin. They know his potential. They were told his potential. But they are so hesitant to believe that he has potential that they will not let him prove it.
But that's also, I feel like, the opposite end. You can see both sides of this is the wild part. On one hand, you want to reach that potential with him. But on the other, he's clearly shown he's not emotionally stable, and, like, he doesn't listen to you in the first place, partially because of Obi-Wan. But you don't do anything to, like, control it. And if you try to give him that potential while he's vulnerable, he could easily flip at any moment anyways. It's a lose-lose.
But they know he's on the fence between them and Palpatine. If you want him on your side, which they do, you take that time to nurture him. You take that time to teach him. You take that time to train him. And then he will open his trust to you.
Well,
my least favorite scene
Uh-oh.
is later on when Anakin realizes exactly who Palpatine is, and he goes to Mace Windu, who, instead of telling him, you're doing the right thing, tells him, I still don't trust you. You still need to earn my trust. I have to check on what you are saying, and then maybe you will have earned my trust.
Well, that's the biggest part, is unfortunately the people in Anakin's lives of that council are the wrong people. Mace Windu is such a hard ass, and it sucks because you can see he believes Anakin to some degree, and he wants to tell Anakin reasonably, you can't come because your emotions are in the way because of Palpatine, but he doesn't do it in the basic way. But either way, you lose if you're Mace Windu in this way, because you're damned if you tell him about his feelings being in the way, 100% being honest, and you're damned if you tell him about not trusting. It sucks, but also Mace Windu, even with that in mind, still fumbled the ball. Dear God. And then he goes against his own code, which then immediately triggers the downfall, because Mace Windu wins against Palpatine, by the way. Just want to point that out. Gets the upper hand on Palpatine. And then Anakin, being Anakin, rebelled, went off to go help Mace Windu. And then he just goes, dude, the Jedi are trying to take over. And Anakin's like, and Mace Windu's like, no, you lost. And then Palpatine tries to kill him. And they're like, no, he's the traitor, no you. And then we get the wrinkles Palpatine's iconically known for, because the lightning's stressing this dude out. And then Mace Windu, after saying you're under arrest, decides that he's gonna kill him, because he's too dangerous to be alive, which, you know what? I get it in that regard. He is. But now you got this vulnerable person who, A, knows the Jedi code and tells you that it's against the Jedi way to kill him and that he has to stand a fair trial. But then when you ignore him, he then jumps to that Palpatine who earlier on promised he can help Anakin save Padme, which we'll get into.
We'll talk about Padme in a second.
Because Anakin's been having visions of Padme dying during childbirth. By the way, she's pregnant in this movie. But, oh boy. Anakin then tries to reason with, I need him, with his personal feelings, and then lets his feelings get in the way and cuts off Mace Windu's hand. And then...
Everyone's losing hands.
Everyone's losing hands and their common sense. When something about a hand being cut off makes everybody lose common sense. I get some aliens in this series have hands in weird places. I mean, brains in weird places, but damn. You know what I mean? But then Palpatine kills Mace Windu and takes advantage of it and immediately takes Anakin under his wing. Thus, the dark side is there. Oh.
Which I feel like can transition us into another topic, but we'll continue with the characters first.
Yes.
Padme.
Uh-oh.
First of all, okay, no, let's go into Obi-Wan. No, Padme first, because we'll transition into Obi-Wan after Padme.
Mm-hmm.
Padme, the worst evolution ever.
No, you can call it a de-evolution.
Yeah, whatever it is. She went from being a badass woman to a complete shrimp.
Yeah.
For Anakin. Listen,
Revenge of the hormones.
I love my partner very, very, very much.
Yeah.
However, I'm still going to put you in your place. I'm still going to tell you when you're wrong. I'm not going to suck up to you the whole time. And I get it. She's pregnant. I'm sure hormones are
Revenge
going
of the hormones.
But she's being a big baby.
Yeah.
Through the whole thing. You used to be a badass. You used to put your man in his place. You used to tell him he can't get away with doing this shit. And now you're letting him get away with doing this shit. And he's doing this all behind your back. And it's just, this is not Padme. No. They completely ruined her character in this one.
Mm-hmm. I can't disagree much with that.
You would think being pregnant, she would be even more hormonal. She would be even more on edge, even more of a badass. She'd be even more willing to tell Anakin, shut the fuck up.
As a lot of sitcoms with pregnant women do tell.
Literally.
I mean, it's a stereotype, but, I mean, it is a scientific thing where pregnancy does do that, unfortunately. It does. It raises hormones and emotions because you're carrying this living being. I don't see no man doing that.
And she's carrying two living beings.
Technically two.
Like, oh, man, it just really, really annoyed me. And the only one who does know that Anakin is the father is Obi-Wan, and let's talk about Obi-Wan.
Oh, here we go. Oh boy.
Okay, no. I know we're talking about characters, but talking about Padme, we need to talk about the breaking point and why Padme finally stopped wanting to care about Anakin. I mean, she just still cared about him, but after finding out what he did.
Let's talk about how we got to that point in general.
Yeah.
Because let's go into the other points and the other stuff. Because we get to the end of the Clone Wars through this movie. The Battle of Coruscant is like the tipping point for the finale of the Clone Wars. We did not see anything in the Clone Wars other than an animated TV show and then another animated TV show afterwards. Both aptly called the Clone Wars, might I add. But, oh man. Oh my god. First of all, let's talk about the general choreography in this. Like, general choreography, battles in general. What did you think? Best of the trilogy? Oh, yeah.
It had one of my favorite battle scenes, but we'll talk about that when we talk about Obi-Wan.
Best opening ever in the series, in my opinion. That Battle of Coruscant, the space battle, one of the best openings of all time for Star Wars. Everything felt right. And honestly, this is the one where the balance of both lightsaber duel and non-lightsaber duel, both battles were amazing, in my opinion. Like, I don't think there's a single bad battle in this movie I could think of. Like, Obi-Wan versus General Grievous, absolutely insanity. Like, Obi-Wan, I mean, the classic hello there. Like, that's just classic Qui-Gon right there. Good old Obi-Wan sass. That was a great battle, in my opinion. I mean, he was getting manhandled for most of it before he shot him in his literal chest, like his beating heart. But it's just... Even Count Dooku and Anakin, which is, like, the weakest, in my opinion, was a good duel. Actually, let's talk about that as well. General Grievous. Boy, does Star Wars like introducing characters that are there for 10 seconds.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think of this guy, though? He's not a Force user. He's trained in the lightsaber arts by Count Dooku and is known as the epitome of a Jedi Slayer and collects Jedi lightsabers for his collection. What did you think of him?
Yeah, I mean, he was alright. He wasn't there for very long. I was more focused on everything else going on with Anakin than...
Don't worry, you'll grow to understand why he's so dangerous in the Clone Wars TV series. Oh, season 1 especially, there's an episode where Kit Fisto, who's the green tentacled one that, force pushed C-3PO when he was in the battle droid body in Attack of the Clones. You remember that one? Kit Fisto? His apprentice and him go on a mission to Grievous's lair. Oh, it's one of the best early episodes in my opinion. But he's a great villain. Everyone's a great villain, but obviously Palpatine takes the cake for this one. But there's all these great plot points and battles. The plot points leading up to Anakin's downfall, though. Walk me through your feelings and everything for that. Because, again, this is another moment where I feel like Anakin could have used a friend before his fall to the dark side. One of them, you don't know yet. You've met them, though. You don't know yet how. And the other one being Obi-Wan, who was off on another planet fighting Grievous.
Which is hard because we don't see a lot of Obi-Wan in this movie. And I feel like he definitely could have used a friend because he's struggling internally. We already talked about the fact that he's having dreams about Padme dying in childbirth.
Which he also had dreams and visions in Attack of the Clones, we should probably mention as well.
About his mother
which
dying.
Then became true.
So he is very on edge. He loves her. He cares for her. Doesn't want her to die, obviously. And in turn, that ends up ultimately leading to said downfall. Because he doesn't get help for those. And the help that he is being promised is by Palpatine.
Obi-Wan pushes him a little away from the dark side in their walk through the Jedi Temple after he gets rejected for rank of Master, which is another point we should talk about. The lack of faith. Again, weird point where it's like, do you give too much power or not enough power to this guy? Either way, they lose. The way they handled Jedi Master, oh boy.
And so they don't want him to be a Jedi Master, but they want to use him to keep an eye on Palpatine, already showing that they suspect Palpatine of wrongdoing. Yet they're not willing to trust Anakin when he comes to them.
And Anakin isn't comfortable with it.
And Anakin isn't comfortable with it
so
because he's a friend.
He tells Palpatine, who he thinks is a friend.
He doesn't really tell him. Palpatine kind of guesses it, and Anakin doesn't lie to him.
Yeah, that's exactly it, though. He might as well, you know what I mean? But one of the other moments for me is the tale of Darth Plagueis, the Wise, who is Palpatine's former master.
Yes.
And he's telling this during a show. One of the best scenes in the prequel trilogy, in my opinion, because it's building their relationship, and then Palpatine gives Anakin thoughts, it feels like, by talking about Darth Plagueis, his old master, and talking about how he was killed in his sleep by his apprentice, who is Sidious, and that Plagueis knew about the power to save one's life, essentially. And that plants the seed in Anakin's head so bad. So bad. But Obi-Wan isn't there to help him, though, or talk with him. After the Jedi Master thing, Obi-Wan and Anakin are, like, separated. Anakin and him have a brief little moment of brotherliness, and it feels like Anakin's teetering away from it, but then he's by himself for the rest of it since Obi-Wan's on Utapau, trying to fight Grievous and end the war, essentially. And it was so timely and calculated. Again, Palpatine definitely had a hand in all this. The Jedi Council fumbled themselves by letting Obi-Wan go, quite frankly. But at the end of the day, it's also wild that how calculated everything is. And this also was the first appearance of the Death Star. I mean, we saw a little bit of it in the preview of the plans at Attack of the Clones, but this was the first appearance of the Death Star being built. How did it feel seeing that foreshadowing? And that Palpatine was planning this from the get-go, using the Separatists to help him build this, essentially.
It is. It's very... I mean, it's cool to see it all come full circle. But it's so hard because you can already tell the direction that Anakin is going.
Mm-hmm.
Palpatine can't do any of this without Anakin.
It's not how, it's when it happens. Which then leads to the penultimate part of this. Let's talk about it, the big one.
The reason that he loses Padme is because, obviously, they're pregnant. They're having a child. They think a child. It ends up being twins.
I was going to mention Order 66, which then leads to Padme's death.
That's what I'm talking about.
Sorry.
This is the reason that Padme sees that he's taken a turn.
I thought you jumped right to Mustafar. My bad.
No.
Okay, carry on.
So, Anakin ends up participating in Order 66, which after the battle with Mace Windu, Palpatine tells everybody on his team, which we find out are mostly stormtroopers.
The clones, the becoming stormtroopers.
Yes. To execute Order 66. What is Order 66, honey?
I can't go into the specifics because the Clone Wars really explains how it was so easy to do.
What is it in this context?
Every Jedi's murdered. Every Jedi is killed by the clones. So, Commander Cody, who is a best friend, you could assume, by their banter, with Obi-Wan, Commander Cody goes, by the way, I think you'll be needing this, giving him his lightsaber back, and then he rides off, and then Cody goes, yes, sir, and it seems like they're both excited to end this war finally, and they're good friends, despite the clone awkwardness, I'm sure. But Palpatine immediately afterwards goes, execute Order 66, and Cody just goes stone cold and blasts Obi-Wan out of the sky. And then there's a montage where every single Jedi that we have seen throughout some degree is killed by the clones. Ki-Adi-Mundi, previously mentioned, betrayed and shot so far in the back. Ayla Secura, who in a lot of extended lore had a romance with one of the clones, gets shot as well. Plo Koon, shot out of the sky. And then there's the ultimate one, where there's a fire at the Jedi Temple, and there's an execution at the Jedi Temple, which then leads to Padme seeing it in the distance, and 3PO telling Padme, Anakin's there, I'm sure he'll be fine. Padme's worried out of her mind. Little does she know, Anakin's the one taking part in actively destroying the temple.
And he is doing so by not only destroying the temple, but his part is killing
everybody.
Jedi younglings.
Not just younglings, that's the only thing we see, but he's definitely killed more.
But that was her turning point.
Oh, yeah.
Learning that, they're having a child.
Two in the future.
And he's killing younglings. And that's the moment that she realizes he's gone.
Well, it's not just that, but, this is the second time he said he's killed children. The first one being the Tusken children, remember? Yeah. He bears, to his credit, as a character and as an ultimate Sith Lord, he bears no mercy to anybody, which is pivotal to the Empire. And Obi-Wan eventually realizes when him and Yoda went to the temple that looking at security footage, Anakin's the betrayer and like sees the footage of him killing Jedi and then also younglings as well. Yoda actually basically is the one that warned him, I don't think you want to watch that, buddy.
No, he knew.
He knew.
He immediately knew.
No, Yoda knew.
Yeah. And
Yoda.
This scene was, I think, the turning point, not just for Padme, but for all of us. This is when we obviously knew he was gone. And, I mean, yeah, it started out as he wanted to save Padme. He thinks he's doing it for the right reason, but you're killing kids, man. Like, you're
How
done.
hard was that Order 66 scene for you? All of it.
Honestly, the kids was really bad.
Oh, for sure.
But it wasn't even just the kids. It was everybody watching, people that, like, I don't necessarily have a connection to, but all of the unsuspectingness. Like, they think the people behind them are on their side.
Like, say what you will about the Jedi
They're
Council.
literally getting shot in the back. They don't even have a chance to defend themselves.
Say what you will about the Jedi Council and their ways. I know you have a lot of strong feelings, but I can clearly tell whenever you watch this still sucks.
And you know what it is?
What?
I don't even know if it's... I mean, it's obviously like that they're dying and they don't have a chance to defend themselves, but it's also the music, and I think this is only the second time in any media that I have cried because of a song. And you know what the first one was.
Yep, I do. I sure do. But, I mean, John Williams... Okay, let's say what we is, because we've been talking about the music, too. This is the best soundtrack out of the 3 movies, in my opinion.
Agreed.
It's one of the best. Anakin's Betrayal, the song's called. Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I mean, not even just, like, the fact that, like, all of these Jedi are dying, but also because, obviously, it's the Force. Everybody's connected to the Force. We've established this in the original trilogy. The Force connects every living being. So when it cuts to Yoda just having a heart attack, essentially hearing all of these voices die out in the Force at once, like Obi-Wan did in A New Hope, which we'll get to, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like, say what you will about the character's recklessness in the downfall of Anakin and the downfall of the Jedi in general and their code, but it still sucks because they were the last stance. They weren't a good stance, very symbolic of the two-party system, by the way, but they were the last stance against absolute evil taking over. They weren't a good stance, but they were the last stance. And so many died because of their own hubris and their failures. And some of them may not have even had a direct impact on Anakin. They just died because they were Jedi. Yeah. That's it. It's a tough scene to watch. I can't. It still hurts. And I think that's the scene I looked at when we were rewatching Revenge of the Sith in April. And I was like, wow, this feels oddly familiar. What the hell is this? Yeah. I get deja vu from this. But it's not a fun thing. It's especially when, like, the buildup of Anakin to fighting, going over to Palpatine, him and Padme staring longingly, even when they realize they're not even staring at each other, from miles away for different reasons, and Anakin's just sitting in the temple. Oh my god, say what you will about how long and quiet that scene is. That was, like, the turning point of the entire movie. Well-deserved tension. Yeah. Which, let's talk about that. The atmosphere of this movie. We've talked about the atmosphere a little bit of each prequel movie. How about this one? How was the atmosphere for you in this movie?
Dark.
Yep.
Dark, and there was just a sense of foreboding. Mm-hmm. And it's so tough because you start out with Anakin, you want to root for him. If you don't know that this is a prequel trilogy, you think, this boy has a chance. And again, that's one of my issues with prequels. But it's really, really tough to watch Anakin go down this road. And honestly, I do think Hayden's acting in this was not bad.
It wasn't the best of the trilogy,
I mean,
though.
It wasn't. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the worst.
I don't know.
But I mean, we'll talk about my scene in a minute.
Yeah.
But I don't think his acting was the worst in this. I mean, it's a tough character to play.
It's a good character to play, though.
It's a great character to play.
It's tough. It's a tough watch all around, and it's uncomfortable, and, like, it's such a twist of like, moods. Because going into the other movies, I guess, without going into the movie, because you've watched the original trilogy too. Even Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, they had a set mood that follows a Star Wars vibe, a grand epic space opera adventure. This felt like the end of everything and like apocalypse level shit. This felt like a lost war, which was, I think, George Lucas's biggest intention of all. This had the most distinct moods out of all 6 movies. All 9 movies, quite frankly.
All right. We are running low on time.
What do you mean? We're in an hour and a half. We got plenty of time.
Well, okay.
We're an extended cut of Revenge of the Sith.
Well, we need to talk about Obi-Wan now.
Oh.
And Obi-Wan's reaction to the finale.
Oh,
Obi-Wan wasn't in this movie a lot.
No.
I mean, we already talked about his connection to it. Like, the reason he's not with Anakin is obviously important. I feel like if Obi-Wan was in this a little bit more, then maybe we would have seen a little bit more pushback from Anakin.
If Qui-Gon Jinn was there, if Obi-Wan was there, if insert this person here was there. I'm just saying this is a recurring theme, unfortunately, that was orchestrated perfectly by Palpatine, but I digress. Please continue.
Yeah.
I'm mad.
I know. Which only makes it more hard when they are...
Good grammar.
Sorry.
Good job, Yoda.
Listen, it's been a long day.
Good job, Yoda.
When they are reunited in the finale.
Mm.
So, first, originally, Anakin is reunited with Padme. Yep. Because she goes to check on him because she's scared. She's hearing all these rumors, and she's like, that's not true. That is not...
Yeah, Obi-Wan specifically.
That is not my husband. That's not my person. And then she finds out it's all true, and...
After he just got off a mission from Palpatine going to kill off the Separatist leaders, which basically ends the entire thing. The entire war, essentially. Both sides have fallen, and we also forgot the most important scene that really tips Padme over, too, I feel like. Listening to Palpatine officially call the Republic the Galactic Empire and giving him total control. That, I feel like, was a huge tipping point.
Yeah.
Again, what a scene. Some of the best scenes in this movie aren't even action scenes like Star Wars known for. They're the tension scenes. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, agree.
I mean, Palpatine's speech when he's while Anakin's murdering the Separatist leaders is so good. Holy shit. It's so good. But continue on with the finale.
Well, while Padme is discovering that she doesn't know the person that she married, Obi-Wan shows up because he's stowed away on her ship, and he thinks that she has betrayed him.
Yeah, fun fact, by the way, there's a meme that I love of this scene that makes it a little bit better and easier on the emotions, because somebody did an edit where every time Obi-Wan's on screen, sexy back plays. So imagine just Anakin, because in the scene it cuts, Anakin's eyes follow over Padme's shoulders, and we cut to Obi-Wan just standing there like a disgruntled father being woken up at 3 a.m. by his gaming son, with his hands on his hips and like legs spread perfectly 90 degrees. And just imagine that cutaway with now the opening notes of sexy back. It makes it so much better. Trust me. You won't feel grief and despair. But carry on. Carry on with the grief and despair.
Well, he ends up doing some not so nice things to her.
He chokes a bitch.
He chokes her.
Well, force chokes. Sorry, force chokes.
Yeah, force chokes. He doesn't actually lay hands on her, but he uses the force to hurt her. Which
is the first use of dark side powers by Anakin. In this movie, I should say.
Yeah.
In the movies. Just gonna put that out there.
That leads to Obi-Wan and Anakin battling it out.
While Yoda and Palpatine are battling it out. You okay?
Oh, no, I hate this scene so much.
Why?
But it's my favorite scene of the whole trilogy.
It's the best It's one of the best battles in the entire movie series. For good reason.
This was so heartbreaking and so well acted, and arguably this was the most important relationship in Anakin's life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know, like, obviously your partner, your, like, romance partner will always be important to you, but the relationship that Anakin and Obi-Wan had, they were like brothers.
Yep.
Like, Obi-Wan has known Anakin since he was very, very little, And the acting in this, arguably Ewan McGregor's best.
Mm.
Because you felt that raw emotion of him screaming, "You were my brother. You were the chosen one. You were supposed to help the Force."
He doesn't even yell, "You were my brother." He yells the chosen one shit, trying to act like a true Jedi. But the minute he goes against the code and, like, expresses emotion with his brotherliness, it's, like, so... It's not as loud, and it so hurts.
But it's raw, and it you can tell there was feeling in that, and that is what hurts the most in it.
Oh, the battle choreography is amazing, too.
Like, Obi-Wan does not want to hurt Anakin.
Nope. Anakin wants to hurt him. That's for sure.
Anakin wants to hurt him because he thinks he turned Padme against him.
Yep.
Which isn't the truth. But Anakin only sees what he wants to see.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he does. And unfortunately, he sees everyone in his way. And then we cut between him and the best choreography. And arguably, I'm a lot of people say this is one of the best. It's up there. I say this is the best in all 9 movies of all the fights. Do you agree with that statement?
I agree.
Like, everything's there. The choreography, the music. I mean, John Williams, the entire time, like, holy shit. He was cooking with this soundtrack.
We should also probably say not every... I know we talked about Order 66. If you don't know, not every Jedi was killed. Most,
No.
Like, the goal is to get to, kill them all. But a few of them did survive. So that's why we're still talking about Yoda.
Yep.
Because he did not die.
There's a couple that also survive in the TV series as well. A lot of TV series. A lot more Jedi survive as more media is produced, and it's a good and a bad thing because, oh boy. Like, yeah, Obi-Wan and Yoda are like the 2 that we know survive out of the movies. In extended media, we'll get there when we get there. But this battle had everything.
It was raw, it was intense, it was emotional. It's like my favorite battle in this franchise so far.
I mean, we get the parallels. Obi-Wan and Anakin are just a pure emotional battle. It's good versus evil, but it's more emotional based. But then you go to Yoda and Palpatine, which is the cut and dry good versus evil. And, like, the parallels are there. That scene where Palpatine and Yoda are rising into the Senate room, and it's, like, cuts to show the entire Senate room empty, that is such a tough scene. That's a great, great shot, in my opinion. Like, this little blip of good and evil shakes the entire foundation of the galaxy.
Well, from that, we end up with Obi-Wan having the higher ground after he makes his grand speech.
Quite literally.
And pretty much, like, the whole planet is on fire.
It's a lava planet.
Because Obi-Wan has the higher ground, he's able to force Anakin into a bout of lava, which is how he ends up looking the way he does.
Well, actually, not a vat of lava, the river of lava. What Obi-Wan says is, I have the high ground, and Anakin's like, nah, you underestimate me. And Obi-Wan's like, don't do it. And Anakin tries to leap over Obi-Wan, fails, and loses his arms and legs, except for, like, one arm, and then tries to crawl up, but can't, and he's burnt, and Palpatine saves him, but without life-threatening scars, in a suit.
And then Obi-Wan ends up going back to the ship, where Padme is giving birth. To Luke and Leia.
Yeah.
And then she dies
because
of a fucking man.
Womp womp.
Listen, and it's not even that, like, we talked about the choking, right? That's not what killed her. She died of a broken heart because she had nothing to live for. You are giving birth to 2 beautiful babies, and you have nothing to live for.
She died because of a man. Womp womp.
She died because of a man. Listen, I love you with all my heart, honey. However, if we break up, I'm gonna be very fucking upset. I'm not gonna die over it.
I'm gonna make a really morbid joke. If we ever break up, God forbid, and you die of a broken heart, I'm gonna be standing over you with a trombone going womp womp.
I would expect nothing less.
Even in your last moments, I'm still giving you shit. Womp womp. I just want to edit myself. I want to review this movie one day on my channel, just so I can green screen myself in over the table where Padme's dying, of me with a trombone going womp womp womp. Like, I feel like that's so funny for no reason. Hey,
she
wow.
died because of a man, and this is why I hate her character development. There was no development.
It was such a regression.
I hate her character regression.
I thought you were gonna backhand me. No, I was like, whoa!
Never.
I didn't do anything.
Died over a man. A man.
Yeah.
A man who has so many fucking red flags. So many red flags. I'm sorry, I just woke up Max.
You just woke up the cat?
I woke up Max.
Oh, this is his dark side arc.
He's so mad.
Oh, jeez. Poor dude.
I'm so not happy.
And then on the flip side, we get Darth Vader.
We get Darth Vader.
The rise of Darth Vader, who then oversees the building of the Death Star with Palpatine.
Oh,
as everyone goes into hiding.
I was not happy.
And that was the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, and that was the end.
But, despite all the despair, there was that little note of hope showing Leia and Luke with their new families that they end up with in the original trilogy. What?
I'm still mad.
What'd you think about that, though?
I liked it. I get why they were separated. It did cause some issues in the original series, but we'll talk about that later. I have thoughts on that one too. But no, I'm glad that, you know, we got some hope and we got that setup of Luke and Leia and why they were separated and how they didn't know about each other.
We got a pseudo-similar shot of when Luke was looking at the twin sons, but this time with Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru with, like, baby Luke. And it's hard not to feel a tear of hope with that one. Like, you're crying throughout this movie because of despair, but it's not hard to feel a little bit of hope through that scene, I feel like, you know? I feel like they set it up perfectly where despite all of this darkness, there's always light at the end, and Luke and Leia were that light.
Yeah.
That then becomes what they are in the original trilogy. So, yeah.
Do you have any questions about the actual series, or can we talk about our feelings on prequels?
How'd you feel about seeing Chewbacca?
Oh, we love Chewie.
Like,
we'll
that
talk
was,
about him more
that was
later.
a random cameo that I loved.
Yeah,
it's just
where's
Yoda going to
Chewie?
war with Chewbacca.
It's Chewie.
We went to the... Fun fact, Kashyyyk is a horrible planet. Kashyyyk's a crazy... There's carnivorous plants and an underjuggle that's deadly. But I loved seeing Chewbacca for no reason go into war. Literally, there's this planet of Wookiees. Great map on Battlefront 2, by the way. But the Wookiees are basically going to war against the droids. I wish we got more of the Battle of Kashyyyk. I thought that was epic. Like, the droids coming out of the water. Oh! It's like D-Day all over again. Except the good guys are the Wookiees defending. What did you think of that? Like, that was a cool... Oh, the planets. What'd you think of the planets? This is arguably the most the most planets in the prequel. We have Coruscant, we have Naboo for a split second, we have Polis Massa, which is a asteroid hospital where Padme dies, we have Mustafar, we have Utapau, we have Kashyyyk. What did you think of these planets?
Yeah, solid. Great. Love it.
Best of the trilogy?
Yeah.
What was your favorite from this one? If you say Naboo for the split 2 seconds, I swear to fucking God.
No, what was the last one? The one where Anakin and...
Mustafar.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah?
I like that one.
Oh, it was
That
fantastic.
one's chill.
It's a great one.
Great for roasting marshmallows.
We do revisit it in the sequel trilogy.
You're not going to comment on my marshmallows?
I'm going to ignore that comment because Lego Star Wars beat you to it several times.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
They've beat you to it before, I'm pretty sure.
That's too funny.
But we do go back to Mustafar in the sequel trilogy.
Okay.
I'm not going to say how or why, but it pisses me off. And I digress. I digress.
We're about to reach the 2-hour mark.
This is going to be a great 2 months. We should have split this up movie by movie and made it a 3-month thing. Oh dear.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's too late now.
It's fine. They can watch it in parts if they need to.
Yeah, just give us more
But
views.
overall, I want to talk about my feelings on prequels as a whole because I think in some situations they're needed. The Legend of Driz series started out on book 4 was technically the first book.
Yes.
And then the author decided to add a trilogy introducing it, which I think was much needed.
It was great.
In this series, I don't want to say which I think you should watch first yet because I'll get to that in the original. But prequels are so hard to do because you are so limited on what you are able to accomplish, what you can work with. You have so many limits because you need to make it fit a certain angle. It does make you wonder what would have happened if these movies came first. How Anakin's story would have progressed, if it would have been different, if we still would have gotten Luke and Leia, if he would have become Darth Vader. And in a way, that's frustrating. Because you don't get to see those what ifs. you only have what you are left with, and it is because this is a prequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm. I can't disagree with that. So, let's go into then. How do you feel about this prequel trilogy? I know you don't like prequels a lot.
It's not that I don't like prequels. It's just hard for me to root for the characters when I know exactly the path that they're gonna go down.
But did this make it worth rooting?
Yes.
Was this arguably one of the better prequels?
It is. And I'll explain why in the original. When we talk about the originals, because I think this is needed.
Okay.
And because there are a couple scenes in the original trilogy where you're like, how did we get to this point? Why should I care about how we got to this point? And I think it makes more sense if you watch.
There are throwaway lines that make more sense for sure.
So I do think it was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Were they the best movies? No.
Okay, I agree with two of them. Revenge of the Sith, I feel like...
Revenge of the Sith was a great movie.
That is a great movie. That is one of the best Star Wars movies.
Yes.
Phantom Menace is okay. Attack of the Clones makes me mad.
Yeah. So what would you say? Revenge of the Sith is number 1?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Phantom Menace.
Yep.
And then Attack of the Clones.
That's the easiest we'll ever agree, I feel
I
like.
agree.
That's the easiest we'll ever agree. Which is crazy to think about, considering originally, when I was a kid, I liked Attack of the Clones more than Phantom Menace. Only because of that Jedi Arena scene. Oh. I would play it all the time on my DVD, and that scene alone.
Interesting.
But I should have guessed how I would feel about it later on as an adult, because that's all I really watched that when it wasn't the full movie. I watched the Arena Geonosis third act more than the whole movie itself when I was a kid.
You being a little nerd.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
All right, before we reach the 2-hour mark, do you have anything else to add?
Overall thoughts on the prequel, overall thoughts on the characters, favorite movie, favorite moment, least favorite moment.
Pissed me off.
In a good way.
In a good way. I get why it needed to be done, but I don't like it.
I mean, that's the good thing, is that he succeeded. You don't have to like it, but he succeeded in that regard.
I wanted to love Anakin. I wanted to love Obi-Wan. Padme was amazing for 2 out of the 3 movies.
And I feel like you can still love these guys, even without knowing the end of their character arc, or even knowing the end of the character arc.
This gave Anakin/Darth Vader much more... What's the word I'm looking for?
Humanization?
Yeah. I like the background that it gave him. I feel like I wanted to know more about him, whereas in the original, I was like, okay, this is just the evil villain that I'm not supposed to root for.
A great villain.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it was much needed, and I am glad that they exist, and I'm ultimately glad that I started with the prequel.
You're welcome. You're very welcome for that, actually. I feel like I still love these characters despite their ultimate character arc finale. I still love Obi-Wan. I know you do too, deep down.
Ewan McGregor has my heart.
I mean, you love Obi-Wan even without Ewan McGregor. We started our other stuff, quite frankly, the other movies.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor.
He makes Obi-Wan better.
He's a beautiful man.
I can't picture Obi-Wan without Ewan McGregor. But like Obi-Wan as a character is better because of it. Yeah. Because he has the charisma, and despite his downfalls, I feel like you still love him at the end of the day.
I do.
Yoda's there.
I'm mad at him right now.
Yoda's there. He's great. Oh, you're gonna hate the Obi-Wan series then. Oh, you're gonna hate the Obi-Wan series. I feel like you know where that's going, even without knowing much about it. But it's a great time. No, don't cat me.
Honey,
nope.
It's almost 2 hours.
Don't cat me. Papa is speaking. Darth Vader is talking. German word. Vader is the German word for dad. Dad's talking. But I really like these films still, except for Attack of the Clones. But I think this gave the best galaxy, like making the galaxy a character. It's one of the better examples, which we'll get into at the end of these trilogies, I feel like, or in the wrap up, I should say, because one of our favorite things is the world being a character. I really liked how they made the world a character in so many regards, worlds in this case. It was a great time to be had. John Williams smokes it again. Dude does not miss with the soundtrack ever. One of the greats other than Hans Zimmer, obviously. For a reason. Great time overall. Can't wait for the rest. Which is next, right?
That's right. If you are watching along with us, first of all, if you've made it this far into the episode, thank you. We love you. We're so grateful for you.
You're doing great, sweetie. Thank you.
If you are watching along with us, we are watching the next 3 movies, which is the original series.
Yes.
This series came before the one we're talking about now.
Which is Episode 4, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, arguably the most noticeable films out of the entire series.
I'm excited.
Several of which are inducted into the library forever of film. Like, they are inducted forever as pieces of film history, especially Empire Strikes Back, which I'm dying to see your thoughts on, because this episode will determine whether the podcast is canceled and we're going to have to go into hiding in fear of being doxxed, or if we get to keep our jobs.
I think we'll get to keep our jobs.
Oh, thank goodness. As someone whose favorite film is Empire Strikes Back, I'm excited to hear that, thankfully. But also nervous because you're making faces at me. I'm scared. Help.
Well, again, thank you for hanging out with us for 2 hours in the Ketchup Corner.
Yeah, I hope your asses aren't too tired.
Let me know. Let's see. What's a question we can
Favorite
ask?
prequel movie?
Yeah, okay. A very basic question, sure. What's your favorite prequel movie?
Yeah. Hopefully your asses aren't too tired
Not
from
just
sitting
in
down.
Star Wars, like literally any franchise.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're going
so
with
we can
that?
open it up a little bit more. Yeah, what if we have some non-Star Wars fans?
Why are you here for this month? Why are you getting your spoilers from us? Because
they like us.
I guess. That's valid, I suppose.
Well, again, we love you. Let us know your answer down in the comments below.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. We love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.